All right, we're gonna call the Document and Rules Committee to order at 10:09 on 11/12/2025. Roll call, Pam,
Here.
Denise.
Here.
Phyllis.
Here.
Holly.
Here.
Me. Here. All right, so review of the 10/30/2025 workshop changes in the final rule. So I just want to go over really quickly what things we added after the meeting last month. So the packets that I gave you this morning have the changes in them. I'm just going to briefly go over the changes for that. So
we could dump these old ones we got last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those were already approved by the lawyer.
was that?
Those are already approved by the lawyer.
They don't have to go to the lawyer.
So those are just a brief.
Yeah.
What, the cabanas, all that?
So one of the rules that was changed is there are only two classifications. We had made that change before, but I don't know why it ended up three again. So, and then under the resident shall provide a complete list of immediate family members, it says the management office. So everywhere it said manager or business office was changed to management office. So underneath the caretakers, underneath the classification of guests, caretakers, what we added was who are not residents who reside overnight with owners must be licensed and insured instead of bonded by their employer.
Okay.
That's better wording.
Yeah. So under visitors too, on the second page, parking passes will be issued by the front desk instead of the security desk. So the front desk here instead of the security desk downstairs. That was the only change that was made.
That's registered at the front desk, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So under shopping carts and luggage carts, no outside, we added no outside vendor shopping carts are to be brought into the building. This was a discussion we had about people bringing in shopping carts from Winn-Dixie or other vendors in the area. So if somebody sees them being brought in, this does not include people's little wire shopping carts. This is just the big plastic carts from
Those and stuff.
vendors.
Tim can ask the question, what happens if someone buys literally a legit shopping cart for their own personal use? They're allowed now in the building.
Yeah, so, but it would be if they got a big one, then we're doing away with all the big blue ones, so
It won't be allowed.
it won't be
You
allowed.
got a big one, it won't be
Yeah.
allowed.
Yeah, they have to, that's why we got rid of all the big ones. It has to be the small ones because they have to go into be able to go in. Because, well, if people follow the rules, they could have them because they would have to go in the freight elevators.
Yeah.
But people don't follow the rules, so that's why we completely got rid of them.
But they're still on the blue carts.
There's a couple left. We were talking about this at the last meeting, and they were gonna get rid of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so. On the following page, no additions were made to that one. No additions were made to parking. Or on the following page. For the vehicle battery charging for regular cars and electric carts, the only thing that was changed was owners must contact the property manager, but we changed that to management office.
It's page there.
This says 7, but I don't know what page it is on there because we added other stuff under vehicle battery charging.
What are we charging? Is there
Here it
chargers
is.
already, the chargers are not installed yet?
Not that, no.
So we're creating rules for when there will be chargers.
Yeah, so they've already started the process. They asked people who wanted them and stuff like that. I believe they have a vendor that's going to be doing that. The other one in the same vehicle battery charging for regular cars and electric cars, under battery trickle / we had to change that to based on Brooks' recommendation, we changed that to battery tender instead of tending device. We added true trickle chargers must be installed in a non-combustible area. Under bikes, so we added that bikes, if people wanted to store their bikes in their unit, they needed to take them up in the freight elevator and wing elevators, just like a delivery. So we are going to make a change that's not in here to the motorcycles, and it's just going to be that it's just a technical change, that, the fee for that will be, charged during the first quarterly.
Maintenance?
Yep.
People, the fee to use moped or something, a motorcycle?
Yep.
Oh, you need to pay a fee to use a motorcycle.
That's to store them, so not in your regular parking space,
Oh,
but if
okay.
they have somebody additional one, so.
Okay, yeah. that makes
So it's
sense.
like the cabanas, the kayaks, all that stuff, so.
And that's a yearly fee or like?
That's an annual fee, yep.
Yep.
So, nothing on a tire, nothing on pets, support animals, that all stayed the same. Rules and regulations regarding support and service animal, again, that all stayed the same as well. Order on cat walks, that all stayed the same. Right of entry, the thing for right of entry, we added the front door locks without, alternative key access were prohibited.
What?
So the conversation was at the last meeting, at the workshop, was that people were talking about getting fingerprint locks with no alternative key access. So those have been prohibited, so. Each owner leasing must leave a duplicate key at the rental office. And then again, that's still, if they don't have anything for that, if we have to break down somebody has to break down somebody's door, not us, I mean, has to break down somebody's door because they don't have access, they will be charged, the owner will be charged, so.
So if that's the case, then why can't people just have any type of lock they want? As long as the building needs
Because
access.
building needs access, so if it's a fingerprint, how are we gonna have access to that?
First of all, you can remote control it, so that's fine, but the idea is that you find them if the building wants access and can't gain access,
Right.
right? So if you have the two.
Right,
you
so we're
don't
just,
need one, that's what I'm
we're
saying.
just prohibiting it right up front to start with, so. You have to have key access, the building has to have access, so. Because you can't, just because you can access it from somebody's phone, what if somebody can't get a hold of you and you've got water running?
Then the apartment gets fined.
But then you've got water running down the hallway and down to other people's apartments, so it's.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
I think it was Brooke.
Uh, Nothing on for contractor employed by unit owners, that was all remained the same from that, absence of owners or leases. So what was changed was the office must be advised of any absence exceeding 10 days. No, 7 days, 7 days, I'm sorry, exceeding 7 days, yep. So instead of extended absences, it was clarified as to be 7 days, so.
If you don't inform, you. No, nothing on it. Just one of them.
Yeah, nothing happens really. I mean, you're supposed to, but it's just one of those rules.
That's like a recommendation or like one of those rules that we.
It is a rule. So. We also took out on the next page, leave automobile keys with business office, because automobile keys now are fobs and stuff, you don't really need to leave them with a business office. So they recommendation is that if someone says, we need to move your car, someone can call and say, hey, my spare key is X, Y, Z, and so.
So make sure those keys are in a safe place.
Yes. Or you know where your spare key is, so. Floor coverings, that was just the management office was added to that part. Under the exercise room, residents who are personal trainers cannot bring outside clients to the building. That was added under exercise room. So,
Even if they pay a fee or something like that.
Yeah, because it's really a liability issue, so,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so. Nothing on the next page or card room, nothing on the promenade deck, barbecue grill use, procedures. Nothing on pool and beach. So under pool rules, page, I've got it on page.
What
20.
number?
It's.
No, what number on the pool rules are you looking at?
The,
The whole thing?
under pool rules, number two,
Two.
it was that, so it was,
They're in order.
it says, no diving or jumping was added to that, pool rule.
Where, what was that?
Number two, pool rule, number two,
Okay, no diving.
or jumping, so. And number 10, no food or glass bottles are permitted on the pool deck.
That was good.
Nothing,
When you say no food or glass bottles, that means I can bring like.
like
Coke
your,
in plastic or something like that.
like your water bottle there, cups and stuff.
I can bring any drink I want as long as it's not in, is alcohol allowed?
Technically, no, but
Don't count anybody. Bring your water, don't worry. Clear.
Whatever you drink.
Yeah, drink it slow, we understand.
whatever's in your cup, so whatever. That's why everything, So, yeah. So the last one is under Realtor Key Policy. Right, page, it's near the last, one of the last pages, second to the last page, an intent to sell or an intent to lease form, a copy of the real estate listing must be on file. So intent to lease has also been added to that as opposed to just intent to sell, so. And that. So those are the changes that were made at the workshop. I just was meeting with the fellow before, prior to the meeting. And she did bring up a couple issues. Means that maybe I read this.
Read the last minute.
I'm going over.
To do this.
What's that?
So good, right on the ball.
So one of the things, and David, this is what you brought up. We need verbiage for furniture moving within the building from one unit to another. So a move is a move, so we have to talk about that right now. So, the reason that, we require, when people are moving, we require the elevators to be, reserved, especially now since the wing elevators are definitely out. So, we're not allowing anything up and down, based on those things.
That's not true. They moved Saturday from 10:07. They moved a bunch of things, so
10:07, they moved into the building?
stuff out.
That's probably why she's bringing it
Yeah,
up.
that's probably what
It could be, so, because apparently something,
And then I talked to them in the office and they said, well, you can't hold on, you know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? The elevators are down, they
right.
Also, if someone wants to move, like he's selling. they
Can't
have to
sell.
move During this period of time, what are they gonna do?
Right.
Well, what happened? She got the junk removal people and
Yeah.
they were approved.
Yeah.
So,
but that's still moving. That's moving things out, but there was things moved within the building too,
yeah,
so.
individuals, is that what she's talking?
Individual, so you would have to, you have a junk removed, you still have to reserve the elevator, for that kind of stuff, and you still have to put down the $500 deposit,
Right.
so.
I was under the assumption that no one can move or deliveries or things like that, obviously not so, and that's when they said you can't hold people hostage, that you can't do anything.
I think they're talking about, are you talking about from unit to unit? Like
Yeah,
from
there
my
was
floor
things moved
to
from
your
unit to
floor?
unit. There was things moved
How
off.
do you,
Yeah.
how do you plan
How-
that?
I didn't which also.
So you obviously know if you're gonna move something or not. It's like if you're gonna move couches, you're obviously gonna tie up an elevator. So and it needs to be the freight elevator, and just like anything else, it needs to be reserved because you're tying up an elevator that is, especially now that's, since we only have three in the main, besides the east elevator. So it's just, it's one of those things that, need to make sure that, because of the fact that people are moving, and more likely than not, they're moving themselves if they're moving between apartments. We don't require renters insurance or, that kind of stuff. So $50 to $500 deposit still needs to be made to the office with reservation to move your stuff out of there. So, but that was what was recommended by the office. So this is open for discussion now at this point. So
What about if people put things on Building Link? How does that work? Like, how do you,
well, are you moving, like if you're
say
moving
chairs,
furniture?
couches,
Yeah.
This is
or a
what
lamp,
happened,
or
yeah. This is what.
Well, so a lamp is one thing. You can take a lamp up in anything and you're not really holding up any elevator. But when you're talking about big, large bulk items, then that's something different, because not only are you tying up an elevator, but there's a possibility of you damaging common area property,
okay.
especially the elevators. So it's like, I see people all the time we got on the elevator with somebody yesterday with a big thing in one of the small elevators, and they decided that probably wasn't a good idea since there was four of us and then there was no room. So he did take it out and left the thing downstairs in the garage. But you can't expect to be tying up, one of the three elevators that are, especially since
Depends on how big it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're bringing a lamp or something like that,
Pictures.
that's one thing. Pictures, it's another thing. But if you're bringing like chairs and couches and things like that, then it's it's just one of those things that you need to reserve the thing, especially if you're going to do it for, like, if you're moving one thing, you're just going to tell people that, we're going to move this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but reserve means what? Yeah, like reserve means like you get an hour, what is it? But so what happens, like, for example, we had a move here, just like Chief mentioned,
Yep.
somebody mentioned that they have a couch available. We
Yep.
moved the couch from one unit to another. Took us 30 seconds in the elevator.
Yeah.
Do I need to reserve the entire elevator for an hour? That means I'm blocking other people.
And put 500 down.
And
Yeah.
$500.
You can't monitor that.
So there's two issues I have with that, if I may say so.
Yeah.
$500 doesn't cover today anything. I mean, it might cover, like, I don't know, like maybe a paint job a little bit,
Right.
but it doesn't cover anything.
Right.
Second, we have cameras everywhere, so we can see, like, if there's damage a day after we come back, we
Yeah.
roll the videos, whatever the damage is, you pay the damage. It's not like, it's
Right.
our building. It's not like we're forcing people to come. And second thing, the hour-long block for something that might take you, like, for example, I ordered through UPS a desk. Came, do I need to block the elevator for it, just to take up from downstairs, a big desk? It was a big desk, just to take it up and bring
Did it
it
come in a
up.
box or did it come in
It came in a box, yeah, a big box that it came with two parts,
Yeah.
but it was big. I needed to use the freight elevator for sure.
right?
Do I need to block the entire elevator for an hour for me to bring
So
something?
we were talking about, she was talking about that too. That's a little bit different. So if you go out and, like, let's just say you go out and buy a TV. TV is gonna come in a big box. You go up in the freight elevator, you're just going up in the freight elevator. So it's a completely different thing. But your other point is that we have cameras everywhere, which we don't. We don't have cameras in the hallway.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where you say that, you can go back and look to see who damaged whatever, but we can't at this point. Maybe in the future, there was talk about that in the future, but at this point, that is not something. So it's, so it has to be a little bit more, we have to think about that.
$50 is not gonna cover anything.
No,
The
but,
hallway for sure.
right. So, but what, if you punch a hole, let's just say you're moving a couch and you punch a little hole in the thing, we're gonna fix that in-house. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be, when we used to do it, it was like, labor times material. So you're gonna get labor and material out of $500 if we're gonna fix it in-house. You know what I mean? So in that case, the $500 is gonna be fine. Now, if you ruin a whole wall, that's gonna be something completely different. You got so say you've got the couch standing up and all of a sudden it falls through a wall. That's something, completely different. So, and I would imagine that after the $500 was exhausted, you would be charged for the rest. So as far as damaging the building goes, so.
But I
If
think
$500 is not fully used, then what? Then they give you the rest of it? I'm just wondering, how does it work? Because it's not how it works.
Chances are it's not gonna be, chances are if you just put a little ding in the wall, they have to fix it, they're not gonna charge $500. Take anything out of the $500. But it's like, let's face it, if you, like I said, if the couch falls through the wall and the whole wall has to be, done, then it's gonna be a whole different ballgame, so it's just one of those things.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
So the $500 is either we put like a big mark on it, or $500 almost like negligible.
Right.
So I think there needs to be some kind of like a median, like somewhere in the middle where.
It's a
like-
security deposit.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it back if nothing happens, so it's just like, just like a regular security deposit in any apartment, so.
Who's inspecting? This happened the other day. Which she knows exactly what I'm talking about. That after the move is done, okay,
It's true, it's a good point.
after the move is done, it was such a mess in the hallway. Dirt and stuff all over, and the owner she didn't realize this. She didn't even know because they had to move out to the back. There was black gook that fell off of furniture that was falling apart. There was stuff, the hallway was atrocious. I mean, shouldn't security come up when the move is done before the movers leave? Or whoever's moving it out to inspect, to make sure that there was because they were out of there.
Right.
They left stuff and debris all in the hallway,
Right.
and it was a total mess. The owners were very kind. They came out, she brought her vacuum cleaner and everything. They were very nice about it, but she didn't even know. She had no clue,
Right.
but someone should come.
You knew,
And
cause you were.
I knew, because I was in front of my apartment. It was in front of my apartment.
Schedule moves, right? So if I know
Someone should
you're
come.
moving on Saturday, they should take pictures before
Right.
Right.
of
The thing
after
is,
the ball, and they should take pictures after. Because you can't accuse
the
me
thing is this too, is,
of
so
doing anything. There's no camera.
the person that hired the moving company is the one that's ultimately responsible, no matter what. So, I mean, she came out and she, cleaned up everything and whatnot, but, it really would have been, her
Because they're
responsibility.
negligent. I'd say, I don't know, shouldn't that moving company be responsible for?
Well, that would be,
it? And
it's insurance, but I mean, that would be the owner. We didn't hire them. The owner
Right,
hired them.
but shouldn't
There's
they
an
moving
outside vendor,
company
so.
before they leave and turn in their vendor passes and clean up their mess?
Unless you tell them to.
Right.
What if they
Yes.
did the
It was a
balcony
mess.
Right.
glass?
It was a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, actually even more important, are we required to bring movers only that have insurance? Or you can bring any mover you want?
No, you have
They have to
to
have insurance.
have insurance. And all that stuff has to go through the office. Yep. Yeah. That's already in the rule, that, you have to provide the insurance for the moving company.
$500 off in the roof, right?
$500 is all.
They did.
But they should inspect it upon leaving to make sure that the hallways, nothing was done.
It's true.
To
Otherwise,
make
what's the
sure
point of
the
it?
inspection.
Same way they do the lounge. They take pictures before you reserve.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And then after your party, they
Yeah.
take pictures in case there's any damage. They should do the same thing with the schedule moves.
Right.
I mean, it's that easy to
Right.
fix,
Yeah.
but
Again, that's, so that's a procedural thing. That's not really a rule thing. That's
Really?
getting security to do what they're supposed to do.
maybe they don't know, because that hasn't been,
Well, and the thing is this too, it's like, I really think that ultimately, once we get these rules passed and everything, that we,
need to start enforcing them.
well, and I think that's, part of it is, I think maybe the rules committee along with management sit down and go over the rules with them. With things to point out things that are just, this is just like, whatever, but these are things that are really important that you need to be looking at and all the rest of that stuff. I mean, we've spent 2 years on these. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody knows the rules better than we do, so. But yeah, so, again, it's just, it's just easier to reserve the elevator, even though it's gonna take you 5 minutes, just so that somebody knows that you're moving stuff.
Right.
So,
Well, can we make a note to security?
Yeah, I might
Yeah,
note.
to check before and after, because it really was. If we wouldn't have seen this ourselves, it would have been left that way.
Well, when they redid the lounge thing, they put in there
Mhm.
that you have to sign and pictures are gonna be taken before
well,
and after.
I
I don't know what the moving, contract says when you sign. I don't know all the small detail. Does it have it in there that pictures will be taken before and after?
Movers must be licensed.
From
and
Isabella
insured,
from the
full-time
office?
Insurance, owners will be required to post refundable security deposit amount with the office to cover the cost of damages that might be sustained to the building or any other.
You just take the verbiage from the
Oh,
lounge, you
you
can
did.
put it right in there.
Yeah.
You're signing for it,
Mhm.
pictures before and after. Because they know when it's happening, so it's not like it's happening every day.
Mhm. Also, I think for the rules, we need to also come up with
Saturday
the
too.
exact definition of what a move is. Like move means I'm bringing a huge costly purchase, or a move is, I actually moving couches from one out of the building, like what does it move?
Beds, couches.
Except for handheld
So a mattress
items.
is not a problem, right? If you take a mattress, doesn't matter if it bangs against the wall, it doesn't create any dent or anything, a mattress. I'm
Maybe
talking.
large
But a bed,
items.
maybe.
Owners
I
of-
mean, you can buy a TV. I mean, like you said before, you got, what are you gonna do? Leave it downstairs? So
I saw whoever's gonna restoration.
Is there anything in there?
hardware Delivery the other day, they were banging that bed, they unwrapped the bed, they could not fit it in the elevator.
The
Just
bed or
watching
mattress?
them do it, whoever got
So they fold it in
restoration
half?
hardware. There was a big headboard, big
Big
headboard, like leather or something headboard. They couldn't fit, it was unwrapped and they're banging it. I'm thinking restoration hardware. I'm
Yeah.
thinking these poor eyes, I hope whoever was getting it was inspecting their stuff. Because it was just, what a fiasco.
I could ask Isabella for the moving packet.
So it says newer departing owners and leases must schedule their move in or out of the building between the hours of 8 and 7, Monday through Saturday. Legal holidays excluded.
Maybe can add.
And then
Pre-inspection,
office must be
pre and
notified.
post-inspection.
Office must be notified at least 48 hours in advance of the appropriate elevator reserved and space for the delivery van accommodated.
And why 8 and 7 also? That's for like official moves, or if I want to take something from one apartment to the other, can I do it at?
I think an official move, like with a truck.
That's official move because it says move in or out. So,
Is there anything in there about pictures will be taken the
uh,
whole way? Because it says something in there, you're responsible for any damage, but it doesn't
Yeah.
There's never any,
Pre and post.
follow through.
but it does say except for handheld items, neither furniture nor appliances nor building materials may be moved in or out of the building after 7 p.m. I wonder why that's 7 and not 5, since you really aren't supposed to have vendors in here after
People always
5.
run late, you know,
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
But we have security 24/7.
Yes, but we don't allow vendors in the building after 5.
Also, you lock the elevator for like 2 more hours after that.
Yeah.
People come back from work.
They never finish it, but I always see them late. They're always late movers. I've never seen them on time.
That's true.
They're always late.
And maybe that's why it's 7, but it just seems to me that, we don't allow anything else like that, so. So where's that note?
Also, did it say anywhere where movers must stand? Can they park here? Can they go over there? Like, does it talk about any of those things, or
They can't park on
No, they
the,
gotta park
they
outside.
gotta park on
Outside.
the.
Yeah, that thing is too heavy.
Yeah.
bring it through the
On the
garage, right?
road.
Yeah, they have to park on the road.
Mhm. So there's nothing in there about,
No. No, everything I read is the only thing that's in there, so. This is what I said, she's the one that brought that up, so about.
yeah, well, that's good, because we have to sign a packet. I mean, you have to sign something if you're moving.
They do?
I think so. You have to give a deposit.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I think you just have to,
Yeah.
I don't think when we moved in, we had to do anything other than to provide give the check and provide the documents for the moving company.
But if there's something in there that says there's any damage, you'll be responsible for. But how could you prove there's any damage if you don't have any documentation?
Right.
You could say I broke the wall. I could say, show me the picture.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Sure.
Prove it.
Yep.
They should do it like they do the lounge. That's before and after, because there was the problem. People leaving the lounge when they reserve terrible or damage.
Oh, thank you.
Because the guards go in and take a picture of the lounge, and then they come in at night and take a picture again. So why can't they know the move? They take a picture of the hallway
Yeah.
of your elevator,
Right.
and then at the end, just compare the
Just
pictures.
When they're moving, you have a separate packet for the mover, separate from having to go through all the rules, just a moving packet.
We do have a moving
I
packet?
don't
No,
know.
I think it'd be a good idea just to,
It's a good idea.
We'll keep these rules. I'll ask her, but keep the rules separate.
Yeah, so again, that's
You
a
want me to ask her?
procedural thing then,
moving.
as opposed to, yeah, so if there's a moving packet, we really should have known about that ahead of time, because that should have been included in the rule.
Yeah.
As a moving
You want me to ask her?
I don't think.
It's
that-
discussion.
I don't think so. I think it's
I
just-
think you just leave a check.
Yeah.
Well, there's something about the lounge. We redid that, remember?
Yeah. Well,
And we put that,
because now what that says for the lounge, you see the office for that kind of stuff, and that's, we did the same thing for the contractor, you need to. So if there is a moving packet, then we would need to say that too, you need to.
you want me to ask her?
Yeah, just ask her if there's a
But
moving
then,
packet.
a second, why can't, if somebody signs up for a move, they need to supply the evidence that they didn't create the damage. So the onus is on them to take pictures before and after.
True.
Not
Don't want to
everybody,
take
yeah, but
pictures
not everybody.
before or after. It's your problem. You created the damage.
Yeah, but how are you gonna prove it?
There's no proof. You just,
Security
you
should come
moved
up.
from this floor to this floor. It's you.
Well, the thing is this, is like,
Want to ask you or
you,
not?
well, yeah, because I want to know if we have a moving packet or not. So, but the onus really is on the people that are moving, because it's like, if there was damage before, we should have, as a building, should have already taken care of it. It should have already been fixed. So if there's damage, it wasn't because, because people tell us all the time, people put in building like all the time, this is damage in the common area, this, whatever. So,
I think it's important to put in the rules, like that anybody who wants to move, take pictures before and after if you want, because if there's any issue, we come up to you.
right, because we could put that in here, because apparently they, when Isabella does the move-in thing, they go over all the rules. So she goes over all the rules with them, so that would be one of the rules that she would highlight, is the fact that, they need to do that, make sure that, they're documenting. So let's see if there's a move-in, let's see if there's a move-in packet.
Did you see where it says,
100%.
availability and fee schedules are available? Okay, that's on the ocean
Yeah,
layer.
that's in the ocean law.
I was just seeing if it said something about damage, but it doesn't say.
For the ocean lounge,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the packet says, actually.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
so there's a separate
If
package.
there's a
Oh,
packet for
okay.
that.
I've never reserved it.
Yeah, so, because there's a whole fee schedule, it used to be like a flat amount, but it's not that anymore.
Oh,
Now,
really?
now it's based on, number of people and a whole bunch of other stuff. So,
My goodness. I think we'll ever get.
It's based on number of people?
I can't remember what somebody was talking about. I was talking to somebody in the pool. I was talking to Nancy in the pool. And she said something about that, and I said, I don't really know what the criteria was. She said there was gonna be a whole bunch of people, and they didn't know how many it was gonna be and whatnot, but before it was just a flat fee of $150 or something like that, so. It's not that anymore. So. But again, it's one of those things that I haven't seen the packet, I haven't seen the contractor packet either, it's just, that's why we're just sending them to there. As far as that goes, so.
Gotcha.
What's going on with the pet-friendly building thing?
It should have already gone out to a vote, but it hasn't yet, so I don't know.
Did you get any ideas out of that, what I gave you about the service animals?
So at this point, we're
Did
just,
you read it?
yeah, so at this point, we're,
Probably stuff you knew, but.
yeah, we're just kind of, again, we're just kind of waiting for, that to, be voted on. I thought the vote was already gonna happen, so.
I don't think it's gonna pass. To tell you the truth.
Because, well, one other thing too is for this, I don't know, I don't know if you guys were on that email that Scott sent out about the fact that we have to, the rules have to be presented 2 weeks ahead of time to owners prior to, approval of new rules. So they had to get the owners the board to agree to a special board meeting just in regards to the rules itself. So it has to go out for discussion it has to go out for review for 2 weeks, and then it has to have a special board meeting. So, but that was last week, and they still haven't announced. Still haven't announced it. So.
That was under 25 days.
That was the rule. But that's what Marcia telling me, the rules are not laws. Tell me that. So what's the difference between a rule and a law? Law is legally enforced, a rule is.
For the
Well,
association.
right. So, and rules are one of those things, so they're based on specific areas, specific properties and that kind of stuff. So we might have a rule that Commodore doesn't have, or, because of certain situations, but the law is the law of the land, and everybody has to abide by that, so. But rules are enforceable as well. I mean, if you have stuff in there that's,
Did she ever hand out?
no,
Great photo.
That's her.
that's him.
Okay.
So we're just kind of waiting on that. So, Was there any other questions about anything else that we discussed about the changes we made at the last one? So, one of the other things is, so there are some couple of grammatical things that we need to change in, for the motorcycles about how that's billed, so. But other than that, that was the only thing that she gave us for that, but so.
I had a question
Sure.
about the bicycles.
Yep,
If you have your bicycle in front of the unit, I mean, in front of the parking space, do you have to have a tag on it? If
Yeah.
it's your parking space?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, all the bicycles have to be registered, and that should have a sticker on them, yeah.
Even though they're in
No.
your parking. space?
Yes, because you can only.
She's gonna talk to George. No, she'll see if George can come up with
I mean,
something.
asked it,
In the-
nothing, I think we.
Yeah.
Cause I have.
Because contractors are coming in the same time,
So, yeah,
deliveries are coming, you know.
what
She
happened?
said no, there's none, but she's gonna talk to George to see if they can come up with something like a checklist. They're supposed to be
Towards the new.
Oh,
the
the
maintenance,
maintenance guy.
not the maintenance guys, security,
Oh,
security. To see if they can come up with like a checklist. You know, they're supposed to be checking at the end, but
Right,
is it happening? Nobody knows.
okay,
They can also, by the way, they don't have to check right at the end. I mean, they do tours,
Yeah.
the whole building, just check on one of those tours.
so,
Okay, so she'll let us know.
so that's gonna be after this meeting though, right? It's not gonna be.
Yeah,
today.
no,
Yeah, okay,
it's gonna be a long time.
all right,
Steve, you were talking about stuff that you just spoke. What about, like, if someone leaves, let's say they charge their car, if they leave over a certain period of time, they can't leave their car charged. That's something that's kind of important, because otherwise you can cause fire, you can cause lots of things there. Is it in there?
yeah, so the trickle charge thing is to
Trickle.
accommodate people that are not here for long periods of time.
No, not trickle chargers, like actual electric chargers, like, because eventually we're moving into electric cars, right? You want to charge your electric car.
We don't have
We
it.
didn't get that
We-
part.
we haven't got there yet. There was talk about that before, but that kind of fell by the wayside. And as far as like actual electric chargers for cars, you're talking about like if you go someplace and you pay to have your car charged and that kind of stuff. So yeah, so the battery tenders and trickle chargers are not that. So it would be something else. So there was talk a couple years ago about putting some up on the north deck, but that's sort of people stopped talking about it, so nothing really happened but
Did we ever talk about electric bikes in there too?
we have not, and that was one of the things I wanted to bring up too, as far as the bicycle thing goes, because we did add that they have to be brought upstairs, but anybody with bikes have to be brought up in the freight elevator, the wing elevators when the wing elevators are done. But so we haven't discussed electric bikes at all.
I don't think they should be going up to the apartments.
So,
There's so many fires.
but and so the thing is this too, it's like, that doesn't specifically say e-bikes, it just says bicycles. So so there's gonna have to be a separate rule probably for the e-bike situation because.
When it comes up.
Yeah, so it might be one of those situations where, do we have to set aside another area for e-bikes if we want them to be charged down in the garage so they're not being charged up in people's apartments, so because of fires.
So how are we gonna charge them? They would have to get it. How are you gonna charge them?
That's what I
Because you're not
said.
allowed to plug in down there. So how do you charge
Yeah, so
unless you get a trickle charger?
yeah, so that's what I mean. But the thing is, you're gonna have to have a space for that somewhere. So it's not, because even the bicycle racks down there right now, even though they did clean some of them out, that's still pretty packed down there. So it's just one of those things where if we're gonna have it, it's really, we're gonna have to provide a space for that to happen, so.
I'd rather have that than up in someone's apartment.
Yeah,
where it's
exactly.
Fire
That's what I
hazard.
mean.
right?
So, and the thing is that there are a bunch of parking spaces coming up once we get everything done with TKE and the roof and all the rest of that stuff happening, so that there may be some like I believe Scott said there was like a couple tandem spots coming available. Maybe that would be an option for e-bikes, and then put the trickle charger there for the e-bikes. So it might be something, it'll be something to look at as we go. But right now we don't have any place for them to charge it other than in their own apartment. So So it's just one of those,
Yeah, I-
it is, and it is, it's just one of those things where,
I don't know, does anybody have any, electric bikes?
not that I've seen,
Seen
so.
any.
I do, I have it.
Yeah.
And it's probably the safest thing you can have in terms of batteries. Your phone battery is a lot more dangerous. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, causing fires, iPhones.
Yeah.
Terrible. They are the main cause of fire.
Yeah.
The truth is, electric bikes that are not like approved, they're not approved by whatever the government,
Right.
those are dangerous.
Right.
But
From to Brooklyn.
when you disconnect an electric bike from a battery, for
Yep.
example, the electric bike becomes just a regular bike.
Right,
It's not a problem, but the battery needs to be contained, needs to be maintained.
right.
Yeah,
If you don't maintain it, that's a problem.
Yeah.
that's what the issue is.
So then that's kind of where we are with that. But you know, if we're gonna say you can't have them in your apartment, we have to provide some kind of place for to
Right,
put them
okay.
in for them to be charged. So it's, you know, that's one of those things we're just gonna have to, at this point, just leave on the back burner for right now. So
I also don't see like people leaving their bikes down there unless there's like some serious security on it, because it's like 3-4 grand for a bike.
yeah,
And it's not like a motorbike where you can like lock and come
Right.
with all sorts of like things that like for safety, it's just
Yeah.
a bike. You
Yeah.
can take the battery, you can take anything you want off
Yeah.
of it.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, it's one of those things
Like, really off of the building, yeah.
that's gonna be something that we'll have to look at in the.
Sure, well,
Does anybody have hoverboards here? Those are dangerous, aren't they?
I wouldn't get on one because it would be danger to me.
Have you ever ridden one?
I've never ridden one. It's super difficult. That's all I heard.
Have you?
You mean an electric hoverboard?
No.
You mean an electric one, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Not a regular
My friend
one.
broke his leg. But did you see the thing I sent you?
Yeah.
The thing I sent you the other day about?
I
Yeah,
think
that
I've
one
shared
phone.
that, hoverboards are fire hazard.
Well, yeah, you know, so let's face it, so the battery banks that people use for to charge their phone too are extremely dangerous too. They're not even gonna let them on planes anymore. So it's just like one of those things where, you know, you're talking about something that's this big that could cause a fire. So it's like, you know, so you can't limit every single thing in the whole world.
I know.
That might be a possibility that it's going to be an issue. So, I mean, for the most part, you have to remember too, that, you know, if it's fire in an owner's unit, then they are responsible for that damage in the unit, then, you know, any other sustained damage to the rest of the common areas and other people's property. So,
Did we add anything in addition to homeowners insurance?
no. My cousin, we were just talking about that, was talking about that with Isabella, said, she said,
I know,
I
I
don't
think
think-
that's a very good thing too, to make
Yeah.
it mandatory. That
I think that would have to go, I think that would have to go to an owner vote. I don't think that that's something we can just, say. I don't think that's something we can, that would have to be an owner vote, because that would be a material change. That would be a big material change that we were requiring. So that would have to be an owner vote. So, well, let's just get through the ones that we have right now, and then we'll worry about some of the rest of those afterwards. Because, you know, once we get the rules done, we're gonna start looking at the bylaws and things that should be added and stuff like that. So we just need to get the rules done. So,
By the way, since we're planning on becoming the hope to become a pet-friendly building.
Yep.
Are there any rules regarding leaving your pets in your apartment while there's no one else in there, like no humans in there?
I mean, like you're
Can you
gone
leave
for the
it
day.
A day, can you leave it for a week? Let's say it's a hamster. I don't know what it is, whatever.
So,
Any rules around that? Because at the end of the day, it can
Not
cause,
yet.
it can cause some serious problems, right?
Gosh.
we put that on hold because, I've,
Oh, 'cause
I've,
you're not, gotcha.
right, because we've had this discussion with the board, because they said to look at that, and I said, I really think it's kind of ridiculous for us to look at that, for one, because it hasn't been approved yet. Second, you're just gonna send it to the lawyer anyway. So it's ridiculous for us to look at it. So once the lawyers get done with it, if we want to tweak it and say, you know, add something else, and then maybe we can, but it's just one of those things at this point right now where there's no discussion about that at all at this point. So, anybody have anything else about the rules that we have right now? So we'll have to, so my suggestion is that we leave the rules for the moving thing the way it is right now, so that we can get it passed, and if we have to tweak it afterwards, we'll tweak it afterwards. Because that could be one of those things where we just take it to the board afterwards and just say, hey, we want to add this to the moving situation. But let's just leave it the way it is right now, so that we can get everything moving with this. So, just, you know, move forward, so. If nobody else has anything about that, we're gonna move on to the next topic. So We're gonna continue the, discussion on the ring doorbell. Did I steal your, probably soldiers? Right here somewhere.
It's like,
So, the continued discussion on the ring doorbell. So there was a board resolution, to do that did pass. So, the discussion is, in regards to this is, what Scott and I did, talk about afterwards, well, I talked to Scott about it and about the fact, and I brought it up at the board meeting about the fact that there's been board resolutions over the years that are very hard to find. So they should be, my recommendation is they should all be in one place on Building Link, not searching like, back in this day, this happened, and, the next year you've got another section for board resolutions, and then next year you have another one for, but they should all be in one place. And so once the rules, my discussion with Scott was, once the rules are adopted, that we would, a separate section of the rules would be all the board resolutions that have happened over the years. So that all that stuff is in one place. So, the doorbell, conversation, that we had before, we will be looking at again, but the resolution was pretty specific about, 52 inches off the floor and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, once we get, the rules done, we'll probably have to tweak that, and put that in as a separate thing for the rules. So, I'm not sure. I think that passed. I'm pretty sure that passed. I know that there was 2 of them that were tabled, in regards to, emails and something else. Those 2 were tabled, but the ring doorbell one did pass, and then we'll just go from there in regards to, getting the rule set once we have the board resolutions. Anybody have anything to add to the doorbell thing?
No, the only reason why we have a doorbell is because there's no cameras in the homes.
Which we should have.
So are you asking me, or are you?
I'm asking you.
No, there's some people that aren't here like to know if somebody comes to their door, or
But
for their own personal safety.
But for that, you can put any camera you want on the inside, right inside your door. You can see anybody you access in, right?
Yeah.
A doorbell is not for that. A doorbell is literally to stop the people that are coming into your door. But because we have security in the whole building, it's not really meant for that. A doorbell is just to be able to see who's outside your door.
Yeah.
But if you want to check who's coming into your apartment, you can put any camera. You can put 100 cameras looking at your front door, right?
Yep.
So I'm assuming the only reason why we would have or would allow a doorbell outside is looking outside and sort of like inching into people's privacy is because we don't have a camera that the building is following, right?
Correct.
So once we have a camera, that's my question. Do we say doorbells are not allowed, those doorbells that can see, watch, and whatever, record AI, whatever goes together with it?
So let me just say this. So, so the ring doorbell cameras right now are an immediate solution to a problem. So, just out of the 5 years that I've been here, a lot of times, things like big projects like, adding security to all the floors and everything is a long process. So we could be 2 or 3 years down the road before that comes. So the ring doorbells are a solution to an immediate problem. Right. So, but the thing is this too, is like, I looked up Florida rules. You can't record because both Florida, both parties have to be aware that you are recording.
You can record, do it any way, you just can't.
Right.
It as a picture.
Right, exactly. So that's what we were talking about the fact that you can record somebody, but you couldn't, it wouldn't be admissible. It wouldn't be an admissible in court. So it's just one of those things. So it's just, this is really just at this point, a patch, make people feel safer. And one of the things is to, some of the stuff that was brought up at that meeting was the fact that, people that already have them. So this is already something that's already happening, and now we're catching up to make rules in regards to that. Is that somebody's camera is on a bracket as opposed to being mounted. So there are some of the things that we'll have to discuss when we get to the rules. So, but like I said, I believe that's at this point it's a patch till we get to that other thing. So.
Yeah, because I think there's a sign on maybe the front lawn or somewhere that says this building is being recorded, or so once you have that sign, by the way, in a private property, that means that I can record anyone I want, even with my own personal device, because they already have a warning set out. You know what I'm saying? So like, I can record you as much as I want in the hallway,
Right.
obviously not in personal space, but, and it's admissible as much, as far as I want,
Yeah.
because I can make a claim, hey, it says right there, you've been recorded in the building.
Yeah, so I mean, so video is perfectly fine. You can do that. Obviously, Ring cameras, you don't have to do that. The only part of it is the recording part of it. The voice part of it. So, but yeah, at this point you can, but it's just, now we're just tweaking the rules, because they were pretty specific about it. Had to be 52 inches off the ground and a whole bunch of other stuff.
That's where the doorbell is, I think. That's the height of the
Yeah,
doorbell.
so we'll just have to look at that, make sure people aren't, targeting other people, because, but, and the way that most of the doorbells are on the short wall. And if they're mounted in the right way, the only thing that you're getting is the doorway of your own property, as opposed to something down
An
the hallway.
area.
But not the corner units.
So,
The corner
so I
units have
looked,
them facing the elevators.
so, no, yes, no, well, see, that might be different on some of them,
Yeah.
because on 6, they're facing the exit doors.
So on 6.
So on the
corner
1 unit and the 17 unit are both facing the exit door on the end of the
The
hallway.
11th floor.
Yeah, so I
One's
think,
facing the elevators. I don't know how they put these doorbells in, but one's facing this way and this guy doesn't have.
well, that's like, if you just,
So-
if you think about things that make you go, it's just like, why did they ever number the apartments the way they did too? It's like, that doesn't make any sense either. So it's just one of those things that, somebody put it in because they were in charge of that one day, and somebody was in charge of another floor the next day, and
Kid did it for sure.
exactly, so.
Someone came banging on my door the other night, 8:45 at night, and we talked about putting the plates with the numbers of the apartment, and it
Yeah.
said, "This is apartment 10 at 8:45. I was in bed.
Oh, the plates on the wall.
And and banging on my door at 10:08, saying, is this where's 10:07? And banging with the door knocker, we can't find it.
So, too, in New York, in apartments, and so in our apartments anyway, you had to have a reflective number on the door at the base for the fire department.
Interesting.
So it's just like, why don't we have that?
Or something for the elevator showing where,
We talked
Yeah.
about that last meeting.
Yeah,
That's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta look at the map, and figure out, if you're good with maps, you know where to go.
yeah.
people don't bother. There should be a little plaque or
We should
something.
talk to Scott about that. We talked about it.
We gotta put that up to the meeting. I brought it up to
I
somebody
know, I didn't do
yesterday,
that.
okay?
Banging
Here's the
on my
thing,
door.
okay? We have 2 elevators that most guests will use, and we have a freight elevator. When you walk out of the 2 elevators that most people use, there's nothing in front of you.
Yeah.
There's a blank wall, then
Yeah.
you walk, but what we have is a schematic in between the other 2 elevators. If nothing else, we should at least put it on the other side, because what she's saying, this young lady, it happens to me all the time. People come knocking on my door. Now, it's supposed to be knocking on my door without prior knowledge of somebody notifying me. And, I don't know, I go like, they like, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
If nothing else, okay, if you go to the Royal Ambassador, for example, okay, where I have a couple of sons that live there, when you get off the elevator, it shows you where to go. I mean, this is the numbers to the left, those numbers to the right. And if nothing else, we have the schematic. It's on the wrong wall.
Right.
Because in other words, if you're working in a freight elevator, you're coming out of there, you can see it. But the other 2, you can't see that thing.
Because so again, with our properties in there, it was required that you have, after you walk out of the elevator, a thing that shows which direction, like to the office, to the laundry room, all the rest of that stuff. And it was nice little plaques that you could just, that wouldn't be that big a deal. I mean, that is something I don't even think we'd have to have a rule to have that. That's just something that
Yeah, we'll ask Scott. 'Cause
Yeah.
They really should put up.
they really should put them up there. Because like I said, the numbering on the things is so
Yeah.
ridiculous. Why would you?
Waiting for the fire department, like you said.
Yeah. So it's just, it's just one of those.
Fire department coming out and looking for the apartment. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
That's in the wing.
yeah.
I have a service person come, I stand outside of my door
I do too.
and tell them, because
Yeah.
nobody ever knows where.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I get off the elevator, I'm like, I wave my hand, here you go, down here. Down here.
You
Down
never
here.
know.
So, but, yeah, so that would be something,
By the way, it is permissible if you have a ring
Mhm.
and somebody comes to rob you. I was burglarized.
Yeah.
Okay. If I had that product then.
Yeah.
Could have prosecuted the person. They knew who it was.
Yeah.
They went to 17th Avenue Walgreens and used my credit card.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. So this is really a patch thing until we get to elevated, cameras,
Cameras in the hallway, let me
I
tell
have a
you,
question.
that's gotta be approved by everybody in the
yeah,
building.
yeah. So again,
The law states that technically you
Yeah.
put any camera in this building, in any common area whatsoever, you have to get permission, and you're supposed to notify the government that you, or the people in the building that you didn't get permission.
So ring bell is
Any,
also the same
any,
thing.
you put a
No.
camera in this room, technically,
Why not?
legally, you're supposed to.
No.
because it's not, I looked up the Florida law. The Florida law says nothing about the ring cameras whatsoever.
No, because you can't control that, you got millions of them in the
Yeah.
United States.
So.
And not only that, it's protecting you.
So that's just it. So again, it's like a patch to, whatever we, wherever we get to at some point. So
Can't
just,
circumvent
yeah.
the law, and law is the law.
Yeah,
718
so-
law is the
We
law.
should look into cameras on
I
the.
said a question, anybody that gets free
Oh,
cameras, are they going to security or Scott, or are they gonna go to each floor and see if they have them installed properly?
yeah.
So you have to let people.
Yeah, like I said, so it will be one of those situations where, there's gonna be a rule once we get the.
They'll go floor to floor to make sure. Yes, that's good.
Any other discussion on the ring cameras?
Ding dong.
All right. So, discussion on pet relief areas for ESA and support animals. So Denise and I and Adele went out and looked. Because my feeling on this is that even if we do not become a pet friendly building, we still owe some kind of responsibility to, people that do have service animals and emotional support animals to provide some place where they can take their pet that is on our property, so they do not have to go off our property to do that. So we have found on the north end of the building, there's a walkway at the north end of the building that goes from the length of the garage out to the promenade deck, where there is sufficient area with a drain and a hose attachment where we could set that up.
So how long is it gonna take the pet to get down the hallway to there? That's the problem.
No, it's right. So you walk through the thing and it's right there.
Oh,
So you'd have to install fake grass and all this stuff.
Yeah. So, and we looked, there's no requirement for, somebody at one of the meetings told us that there was some kind of requirement about how much space had to be allocated for that. But I mean, if that was really the case, I mean, these areas in airports wouldn't be as small as they are. So I don't think that we need a large area, but there is a large enough area there that we would certainly have enough area to do that with. The issue is, it's not really an issue, but as you go down, because it goes down the whole length, and then there's another gate that comes to where the roof fan is. So, but that's also blocked off by a gate. So I think that there's an expansion joint there during the first section of the thing, then there's an expansion joint, and then the next section of the thing, and then the gate to the thing. I think that if we put a fob thing on the first gate, and then put a gate up at where the expansion gate is, where the expansion joint is, to keep people from going to that other end, that should be sufficient area to be able to service the needs of the people in the building with pets.
And there's two lights, or the lights in the.
There's three lights
So
along
there's enough
along the
lighting
top.
at night that would light up.
right, so you walk out front around there, is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
so the rule says you walk out the garage door, you just go out the garage door up to the north walkway up there, and then you go right there. This way you don't have to cross the street. This way you don't have to worry about homeless people.
Yeah, I do it every night.
They're out there, so.
So two comments. First is, how much will it be the cost for the building to install something like this? I mean, if it's a big cost, then it's gonna be more involved. And second thing, I know that people use that area, that some people use that area as a pass through
Yep.
or something like that. So It's just two things to keep in mind.
It can't be used for a pass-through because
I think we used
data-
it once when they
we
did the
When
concrete.
they were doing concrete restoration, you can't use it anymore because the other gate down by the roof fan is locked.
No, I know, but sometimes, like, for example, the synagogue in front, there's one day a year, I know for sure, they use it as a pass-through to go from one side to the other side. They organize it with the building,
Yep.
everything's officially organized and
Yep.
everything, and then they use it as a pass-through. I'm sure that there's other people or whatever it is, they
Right.
use it, so
Right.
just that one more thing to keep in mind.
Right. So,
Who's gonna maintain it?
so the owners would have to maintain it, and it would, you know.
It would be a charge.
It would be, you know,
For the building or
For the owners.
The owners,
Yeah.
For the
the owners of
dogs.
the pets. Okay.
Pets.
so, you know, so it's one of those things where, you know, we allow these people to have it. So in all of our properties, we had designated areas for people to go, you know, to take their pets, very specific areas so that, you know, we could monitor who was doing what and who wasn't doing what. But, you know, I looked up the cost for the artificial turf, which is negligible, you know.
Baseball usually costs money.
Yeah.
But we also need to put a camera there, I think. It
Yeah.
would be, make sense to put a camera
Then we
there.
gotta get permission from everybody to build
So,
Oh,
it.
like,
It's a common area. Can't you stick a camera anywhere you want?
no, but it's a common area. There's already a sign that says this building is being recorded.
You put a camera in this building in any common area, you must get permission.
Okay, that goes together with all the approvals, yeah.
but it's, you know, it's, even if we didn't put a camera there, because there's no camera across the street that people are, you know, doing. So it's,
That we know of.
right. So it's just one of those things that, we think is important because there's
It's a nice
probably,
accommodation to.
yeah, it is. It's really an accommodation to people so they don't have to go off the property. I mean, we've already proved that they have a disability, so we should be making a reasonable accommodation for them. So,
It's very cool.
yeah, so it's just one of those things. So,
What most people don't realize, and I talk with the three attorneys about,
Okay.
is that once we make this pet-friendly building, which I'm up for, no problem.
Mhm.
Only those people can be monitored, and there's rules and
Yeah.
regulate only for them. The other people can bring their pet anywhere.
Yep.
They can bring it in anywhere. When I say anywhere, they told me they could bring it into your meetings, they can do anything they want with those pets.
they have to be leashed though, and also they do have to follow the pet rules. Any pet rules that are enforced for the building have to be applied to support animals and ESAs as well. So that means they have to clean up after the dogs. The dogs can't be no excessive parking or barking, even if they're a support animal, if there's excessive barking, you can have them removed from your building. That's, yeah,
What I was gonna say is that some people think, oh, I don't want those pets to go into an elevator.
right.
The emotional ones can.
Right.
No matter what food you make for the ones that come.
Well, the support animals, you can. ESA, you know, it's a little bit different. Those are two separate categories. But, you know, the rule is going to be that pets go up and down in the freight elevator. So,
If that works.
Yep. Yeah.
If it works, if someone's
Yeah.
moving, I've
Yeah.
already had that,
Yeah,
where I
yeah,
can't go in,
yeah,
I can't
exactly.
go in the elevator because the elevator's
So-
taken or whatever.
You should block it for an hour.
so,
Put your $500 down.
so here's the thing that we just want to remember. You cannot regulate every single situation that's ever going to. It's sort of, you know, a moot point because we could sit here and nitpick everything all day long and it really wouldn't matter. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's just one of those things that, you know, cover the majority of the things. So, so we should bring that up. So I don't know what, you know, who we would get to for that to have a discussion in regards to that. But
Well, maybe we could put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
And then maybe, because it's gotta be an owner vote.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it has to be an owner vote for
if we're gonna
that.
block that area.
I don't think so because it's technically, so, because we don't want to we're not going to make the whole, you still have to have workers that are going to go down there to
So it's gonna be that short area.
so it's going to be an area where there's still going to be a walkway that the pets aren't going to use to relieve themselves. So it's going to be.
Yeah, it's just a grip.
So it's gonna be like, you know, so let's say a walkway and half of it is gonna be covered and half of it's still gonna be a cement walkway that you can just walk down.
Can I recommend something? Maybe not get it approved by the board, but maybe just in the board meeting, just announce it and tell people that that's the plan.
Right.
That's a good thing. This way you get a lot more people on board.
Well,
On board.
the thing is, it's been brought up a number of times to certain people and it just gets sort of poo-pooed, so it's gonna have to go to the board.
Hopefully it goes poo-poo on the turf ground.
Yes,
Hopefully.
exactly.
Good
So-
thing.
No pun intended.
So it's gonna have to be brought up in a, or unfortunately, because we brought it up a number of times and it's just getting.
Yeah.
So,
Even, I think it has to be common area, no matter whether you take 1 inch or you take.
Yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
so. But it's
I
just,
don't think it has to be approved by the people in the building.
Yeah.
so the next thing on the agenda is set date for December meeting. I'm gonna put that on hold, for right now because, like I was telling you before, so the rules have to go, the rules have to be, in order for the rules to be passed, they have to go out to the owners 2 weeks prior to the board meeting, and there's going to be a special board meeting to discuss the rules. So we don't know when that's going to be because we just got all the board members to agree to that. And then, so now it's the 2 weeks have to be announced and then,
Well,
yeah,
that's what Scott was gonna do after today's meeting. If there was no other changes.
Yeah.
He was gonna send it out so he could
Yeah.
get that 14-day window
yeah,
and
okay,
then hold a special meeting
okay.
for a vote.
Yeah, because it looks like it's gonna be either, it could be like December 1st, something like that, depending on, because
Day.
because 2 weeks from today, I think is like the day before Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be today's then, so it's probably gonna be December 1st or December 2nd, so. So that way, at least it'll be in for, for that, so. So I'm gonna table that, till we figure out, what's the next step is, if it's approved, and it's approved, and we'll,
And we
Well-
go from there.
yeah, we'll do a different agenda for December, and then, so.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta give him the green light to just go
Thank you
ahead.
very much, guys.
Be good, David.
Yeah, good one.
So, yeah, if nobody,
Trash, is this all trash?
yeah, if nobody else has anything else, we're gonna
Bye,
adjourn the
Pam.
meeting.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you.